Texas, so I was gulping it down. No, I did.
Okay, so we're going to be getting into the Sneako and Alex Jones debate. All right. So, hope you all are having a good Friday morning. And let's get into it. Anthony Black Radio. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Let's go. And for y'all who don't know, Sneako basically was saying that New York will be, Islam will be in every person's house in New York due to Mandani being mayor. And that set off Maga. And they basically went full racist. They got into their inner slave master. So, without further ado, let's get it.
Say that, and Elon agree with me.
My country. So let's start with that. You challenged me to a debate. I think it's important to start with some of the claims you made. Is the audio okay in here, guys? Can you guys hear?
I hear you loud and clear, Sneako.
There's no echo. Okay, so you want me deported from America for exercising my First Amendment rights? You're making the face, a shock face. This is what you said. You said deport now, and then Elon Musk, the trillionaire African migrant, into America, who's bringing in tons of H-1B visas. He said, yes, he wants me deported as well.
Well, to be clear, I wasn't making a shock face. I was enjoying my iced tea right here in Texas, so I was gulping it down. No, I did say that, and Elon agreed with me on that viral post, of your viral post. And, here's where I stand on that. Obviously, I was saying that more rhetorically because we have separation of church and state in the United States. I've read the Quran twice. It is a battle manual of how to take over the world.
So you don't have.
So it's funny how he, Alex Jones, wants to talk about separation of church and state, but the fact of the matter is MAGA is working. The Trump administration is working to merge church and state together and to oppress everybody with Christian nationalism, which is really the bastardized Bible drag version of white supremacy. It's amazing what Alex Jones is talking about right here. Let's keep going.
So you want me deported from America? Or you do?
But Alex Jones is right. Islam is a battle manual. It's not about peace. It's about to pretend to be friendly to non-Muslims, and then when you got strength in numbers, then you can show who you really are. We see this cultural jihad. It's basically cultural jihad, and we basically see this in the UK about what's going on in the UK. Basically, these Islamic illegal migrants are doing whatever the hell they want, and the citizens of the UK are suffering, which is leading them into the arms of white supremacy. People like Elon Musk, okay, who are trying to get white supremacy back in its full form in Europe by trying to manipulate the elections in Europe. And for those of y'all, I do not hate Muslims, okay? I just don't like Islam because it's very anti-black and is the origin of the Arab slave trade, and blacks are even being sold in the Middle East as we speak.
Hold on, listen, you want to do 3 minutes and I'll do 3 minutes because we're debating.
Sure, I want to know. Go ahead.
No, it's fine. I mean, here's the deal. Orthodox Islam is expansionist. Orthodox Islam in the Quran promises to take over the world. And we have separation of church and state in this country. And we have people saying every household will be under this. That's not the same as the New Testament saying every knee will bow to God when they finally see God. Okay, so my issue is you're jumping around all crazy, doing throat slitting motions, saying F you, basically, I take it as America, and saying you will go under this. We're going to take your cities. We're going to dominate you. And I've seen thousands of imams, say all this. And if you don't convert, we're allowed to take your women and use them as slaves, and all the rest of it. It pisses me off when somebody says, "I'm going to plant my flag up your ass, and we're going to dominate you." And then there you are, an American with an American accent, saying that. It's even more horrifying to people. It basically starts a war. So I'd love to see a reformation in Islam like we had in Christianity. back when some of the Catholics were trying to force people, to follow what they said, or they would burn them at the stake. Okay, so Islam needs a reformation. I don't want to be at war with Islam, but there are 50 plus Islamic countries. Most of them are 99% Muslim. There's only a few Muslim countries where Christians can live in peace. Islam is expansionist. That's why I'm against Israel. It's expansionist. It is elitist. It says greater Israel. It sees everybody else as subhuman, at least Ben Gvir and the leadership of Israel. And so I am opposed to Israel and its expansionist supremacist activities. I'm against Islam's expansionist supremacist activities. And I am against the Chi-Com expansionist activities. I'm against the left's pedophilic Hollywood expansionist dominance.
Are you against Donald Trump's pedophilia and dominance? That's what I like to know. That's what I like to know. Because most of these people who are like, we're against this, we're against that, they're still for supremacy, white supremacy. And even though they're against Zionism, they envy the Zionists because they want the right to have that type of power that they have. They could say how much they're against them all they want. If they could get that power, if the Zionists were actually to share power with the white supremacists, they wouldn't have a problem with it.
Imperial operations. I don't want America to be imperial. I've been against all these expansionist wars. Even though I didn't like Maduro, I said I think we'll probably just put communists back in. Now they want to overthrow Cuba and put the communists back in. So I'm against all of that. I'm against imperialism, not from some leftist angle, but from George Washington's angle of not being involved in foreign entanglements. So that's where I stand on all this. And when somebody declares we're coming for you and we're going to dominate you, I said deport Piers Morgan back in 2013. It became a national story whenever he said we're going to take your guns. And I said, if you do, 1776 will commence again. So anybody trying to take my guns, anybody saying I'm going to convert to Islam in all your homes, anybody telling me that they're going to stick their flag up my ass, I'm going to tell them, if you want to fight, you better believe you got one. Go ahead.
All right, you said a lot. I mean, what flag? The difference between Israel as an expansionist state is that that's a actual country. I have allegiance to America. This is my country. Said many things, and let's stick to this original claim.
No, you don't. No, you don't. Not what you show with Islam. Islam is basically your allegiance is to Islam. It's not to America. America is a democracy. You are for a theocratic dictatorship, which flies against the Constitution and flies against the way of life of Americans. Sneako.
You said deport now. Where am I going to go if I'd be deported?
Well, I mean, there's 50 plus Muslim countries. You could go to Iran. You go to
Sneako is an American citizen. Where is he going to go?
Sudan. You could go to Egypt. You could go to Afghanistan. You could go to any of those shitholes. You could go to Pakistan. Where they're marrying 9-year-olds. You could.
There's child marriage here in America, but how would I be deported to a country that I don't?
You could go to Medina. You go to Medina and 30 black men.
Right, but that's not deportation. That's immigration, like Elon Musk coming over here. How would I be deported to a country that I'm not from? I was born here in New York City.
Yeah, I mean, Sneako, my point was rhetorical, saying that we need to deport that ideology and we need to not submit
to it. Don't deport me. You want to deport Islam.
What I'm saying is that jihad and dominance of our culture needs to be opposed at every level. I obviously didn't mean literally put you in a cannon like a clown and shoot you, over to a Muslim country. And I said I meant it as an allegory. You also said that I was trying to get vigilantes to kill you. I said my snake or black widow analogy was not talking about violence, but why I have a phobia of pouring gasoline on myself and lighting myself on fire, or jumping off a 5,000-foot cliff, or playing with black widows in my hand, or playing with rattlesnakes. You have those phobias because it's a natural thing. It's something your brain recognizes as dangerous.
You're scared of me?
I am absolutely scared of giant hordes of third world populations that keep women as slaves and
you said
9-year-olds.
You want to deport him now. You scared of me individually?
I am scared of being a cuck and laying down to people that declare their superiority and their supremacy over me. And you are following Orthodox Islam and are.
The only thing with him is that he wants to push that same thing on Americans. He wants to push Christian nationalism, which is not Christianity, which is to me to subjugate women, oppress minorities, segregate ethnicities, ethnic groups, and treat them badly. And make sure all resources go to white people. white racist white people who believe in their version of Christianity, which allows you to sing hymns on Sunday and murder and rape black women and children 6 days out the week, and make shoes out of them and lynch them if they dare fight back because they're tired of being abused.
Openly announcing, we will dominate you, we will control you. So you follow the Quran, you believe?
Well, let's talk about the clip I said.
Pay the Jesus, pay the tax.
Let's be specific about what I said.
My head chopped off. Which way is it? Is it in the Quran? I pay the tax, I convert to Islam, or my head's chopped off? Which one is it?
It doesn't say that. It doesn't say it.
Yes, it does. Sneako, you are a filthy liar at times, Sneako. But I can't really knock him because in Islam you are able to practice a custom called taqiyya, which is lying, deception. Okay? And some people say, oh, well, that's in war. What do you think Islam is built off of? It's built off of warfare. Okay? Deception. What do you use deception for? Mostly at times in war. And that's the thing why a lot of people, myself included, I wouldn't debate a Muslim. Not because I don't like them. I don't hate Muslims. They're people. But I already know the Quran and how they're told to react. They're told not to tell the truth. There's no 10 commandments in Islam. If you didn't know, they don't have any moral standards, really. They don't. They can lie. They can steal. Okay? And say it's for Allah. Okay? And right now he's lying about Islam. What Muhammad used to do. You pay the jizya or you lose your life. You don't lose your life if you don't leave Islam? So why are people, so many women are leaving Islamic countries in droves every year? You can look this up. There's many accounts of people who, for former Muslims, they had to leave their country, leave their families, because they didn't want to be Muslim anymore. Because they knew if to leave Islam is death.
I can show you 1,000 imams reading the hadiths, the Quran. No, there's three things.
Hadiths are not in the Quran. You clearly haven't read it if you think hadiths are in the Quran. So because you don't know about Islam, let's talk about
some scholars. You're saying Islam doesn't say you convert or you pay the tax or your head gets cut off.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So let's talk about what I said because you don't know about Islam.
Hey, everybody, take clips of this and then show 50 imams saying it and then show the hadiths of the Quran.
Alex, maybe you've seen a lot of Facebook posts and it seems like you're getting a lot of boomer propaganda. Let's be specific about what did I say? Because
boomer propaganda. There are teenagers and young women in their 20s saying this stuff. Young women in their 20s. This is how you know Sneako is full of it. Okay?
You just made up a bunch of things I didn't say. You said I'm coming to stick a flag up your butt. I'm here to dominate. I didn't say any of that. What did I say?
You said we're going to take over every house.
I didn't say that.
Take over the cities.
I said, in Christian language, something similar. I don't know what type of Christianity you are. Every knee will bow, every tongue confess. I said, inshallah, the whole world becomes Muslim. I believe I have the truth. I want goodness for the world. I want you to have the truth. Christians want other people to become Christian too. Why should I hide? Why should I act like I don't want goodness for other people? Of course, inshallah, do you know what this means? If you know, you read the Quran. What is inshallah? God willing. So it's not up to me. It's not up to any force. It's not up to anybody forcing you and converting you with the sword and threatening.
Oh, yeah, Islam never does that. Hey, Muslims always bitch about the Crusades. Were the Crusades a response to 700 years of Muslim invasion? Did the Muslims take Spain and put over 2 million women into slavery?
Well, if you want to talk about Christian expansion, we can too. But in the Quran, it says that you don't force anybody to convert. People willingly.
See, the thing is about when people talk about the Christian expansion, the thing is in order to do those things, you have to violate the teachings of Christ in that Bible. You could read it for yourself. There's the difference. Because when it came to the so-called Christians fighting the Muslims, those are Roman Catholics. To take back the Holy Land. That was the stick. All right. So there's a difference right there.
Accept Islam. Nobody is trying to spread it by the sword. I want people to hear the truth and accept it. That's why I say, inshallah.
Pay the tax or have your head cut off. Convert, pay the tax or have your head cut off.
You don't know about Islam, so you might you should avoid this stuff and let's talk about what I said.
Hoping people don't know. I do know. You didn't think I knew what inshallah meant. I know what all that means.
Yeah, but you said that I'm here trying to force it and stick a flag up your butt. I didn't say any of this stuff.
Dude, you were going, fuck you to the camera. You were sitting there.
You want to know why I said this?
Whose throat you going to slit? You're like, fuck you, we're taking over.
Islam is not compatible with Western. Yes, it's not. It's not compatible with modern values, period. Okay? This is coming from a man, right, who says that if you have a stomach ache, drink camel urine. This is from a man who says sperm is generated between the backbone and the ribs. We all know that's not true. Okay. Let me read you some Islamic scriptures from the Hadith. Okay. Hold on one second. And people would like to say that Islam is a family religion, right? Let's look at this. Okay. He promoted prostitution. Okay. Sahih Muslim 1406. Okay. Made it lawful for Muslim men to have sex with married women. Quran chapter 4, verse 24. Said women have a deficiency of mind. He says this is a religion that's supposed to respect women. Okay. Sahih al-Bukhari 2658. Said women are half the testimony as a man. That means when you go to court, if a woman witnesses a crime or has witnessed important documentation within some sort of business meeting or legal meeting, her testimony is not qualified. Sahih al-Bukhari 2658. He made racist remarks. Okay. Sahih al-Bukhari 3268. Sahih Bukhari volume 9 book 89. Hadith number 256, Sahih Muslim 5510a, Ishaq 243. Owned and traded black slaves. Sahih Muslim book 10, Hadith number 3901. Sahih Bukhari volume 6 book 60, Hadith number 435. Sahih Bukhari volume 9 book 91, Hadith 368. All right. These are all the things that about Muhammad, okay? All right. Janice Farmer says, and then we got people that live right here, born and raised, that say that that a dewormer will cure a virus. A dewormer. That's not the well, I'll probably talk about that another day. All right, because I'm not going to talk about that here. All right. So if you're talking to me, Janice, yeah, I've actually have read it. And I could say some things that basically I could say, for one, that, yeah, what Sneako is promoting, he's either is very ignorant of it, or he's just pretty much just doing what most Muslims who are very hardcore into the faith is lie. All right. Islam is not for women. It's not for the protection of children. Okay. You could look up a YouTuber called Imam Nick. All right. And he'll tell you what he had to go through as an imam and why he left the mosque that he was working at. Imam Nick, you could look him up. Okay, what Sneako is promoting is basically what Muhammad was for, and that is cultural jihad. And a lot of women have lost their lives. A lot of people don't know about Islam. A lot of people buy into the leftist propaganda. And once again, I do not hate Muslims. I do not like Islam because Islam is just the Arab version of white supremacy in a way because of the fact of how they treat black people. Black Muslims are not treated the same way as Arab Muslims. Okay? You could look online on social media. You could see how interracial marriages work out in the Islamic community. A black Muslim man marries an Arab Muslim woman, and you see how you could you could listen to the testimonies and what they go through. Because what did Muhammad say about black people? He said, if you want to know what the devil looks like, look at a black man. And a black woman is likened unto a pandemic. You could look this up. I'm not lying. Okay? You could look up what is happening in the Middle East, how they call black people abid, which means slave. All right?
I didn't say that.
All right? This is why I really, when it comes to the Palestine thing, I sympathize with them because they're human beings. But I do know that they are Muslim, and I know what Islam says about black people. It says the majority of black people will end up in hellfire. Okay, they were created for hellfire. I know what it says their form of Muhammad was saying his form of Genesis, basically saying that Adam, one shoulder he knocked, and Allah knocked Adam's shoulder, right? And one side came out pearls, white pearls, and those were the white people. Now he knocked the other side, and that side was the black coals, and that was the black people. Do you know what Allah said according to Muhammad about the white pearls that were white people? He said, you could come to paradise. I don't mind. For the black people, to hellfire. I don't care. You could Google this. This is Muhammad. The man, because of his teachings, started the Arab slave trade. Because of his teachings, there's so much racism against blacks in the Middle East. All right. You can look it up in the Hadith. Okay. And the backlash sometimes when people have found out about Islam is the fact that, you have some Muslims that try to get away from the Hadith, but you can't get away from the Hadith because the Hadith and the Quran go together. All right. Well, we have to care because you have people spreading this propaganda that it's peaceful, it's loving, when it's not. You have many testimonies of women who have married Muslim men, and they have lived, some of them have survived to tell the story. Okay. Everything I said is true. I don't have to lie about this. That would be very disingenuous to my listeners. And many of my listeners who listen to me and know the truth, they're very educated about Islam. Okay? And they will tell you what I'm saying is the truth. I have nothing to gain by lying about Islam. When you could look this up yourself. The information is right at your fingertips. You could look up the testimonies, former Muslims. Why did you leave Islam? Look up the women. Why did they leave Islam? And you will see a whole list of why they left Islam. The husband beat them. They were harmed as children. They saw the truth that it's not for women and children. You have young Muslim men and women flushing the Quran down the toilet. Okay? They're not afraid anymore. The youth don't want it anymore. What I never could understand is the fact that you have a lot of liberal women. You love freedom. You love not answering to anybody, but you would join a religion that says a woman, a woman is deficient of mind. And it says that you can beat a woman. Surah 4:34. You can look that up. That's in the Quran. Surah 4:34. All right. I never understood that about liberal women. But I think maybe some of them, they just don't like to read. All All right. You could be hateful towards the Bible, but when it comes to a book that's actually hateful, period, especially towards women and children, for some reason, your brain goes to a different dimension, and it's like you just believe anything you say instead of reading it for yourself. Okay? That's the thing. Women are getting harmed under Islam. They're getting acid thrown in their faces because they reject a man. Islam is a religion for incels. I've said it before. That's a religion for incels. There's no accountability. Women are property. You never have to face rejection. And the woman is your slave. And she will never leave you. Because everybody in that community sees women as the same thing, as a slave. Oh, and it also says that a woman's silence is her consent. Google that.
Like with the Muslim invaders
We're taking
countries
over.
on their Zodiac boats with Soros.
What's the Muslim population in America?
And then you got the 200 to 1 Muslims raping and stabbing and murdering people all over Europe and running over people.
200 to 1. Even according to Tommy Robinson on the Epstein list, the majority of pedophiles in the UK are white Christians. It's not even the Pakistanis.
There are no doubt there are a bunch of in the UK.
Yeah,
and there's no doubt that
according to Tommy Robinson, it's predominantly white
orphanages and pick the little girls up and put them in dog cages.
Okay, before we get all heated, let's talk about what I said. Okay, there's a lot of things, and you're spreading a lot of. It seems like you don't really know about Islam. What I said was God.
Okay, see that's a throwaway line.
No. All right. Alex Jones may be cuckoo, but he does know enough about it. Okay, he does know. But what he's saying is facts. Okay. Yeah, there are pedophiles in the UK. Definitely, there's a huge pedophile problem in the UK. But we're talking about Islam here, the religion that you're trying to say is a religion of peace, is a religion of love, is a religion that's for family. When in reality, it's not. If it was, you wouldn't have Muslims marry 9-year-old girls. Okay. But America, you claim this is a Christian nation, but you got child marriage here. America is not a Christian nation. America is not a Christian nation. Have you read that Bible? If you read that Bible and you look at the history of America, you damn well will know America is not a Christian nation. That and the fact that the Treaty of Tripoli says it clearly. America is not a Christian nation. Okay? Otherwise, we wouldn't have separation of church and state. We'd be living under a theocracy, not a democracy. Christianity is a monarchy. There is no democracy in Christianity. So the two America can't be a Christian nation. Christian nations don't, if it was a Christian nation, we wouldn't have segregated churches. If it was a Christian nation, we would be telling the truth about this country's roots. Okay? Racism would be a thing of the past. Misogyny would be a thing of the past. Misandry would be a thing of the past. Okay? Homosexuality will be a thing of the past because people will actually be getting help for it. And no, I don't hate homosexuals. I hate homosexuality. Okay? This is the thing. Clearly, it could be read like that, but, once again, this is not a Christian nation. It never could be. Yes, it is. You just don't read the Constitution. You ain't reading the Bible. How could this be a Christian nation when this nation government lies to everything? It lies to you about everything, from the food that you eat to the reason why they put you overseas to fight a war, claiming it's for freedom, but it's really for fighting for corporations. For a bunch of rich, old, perverted, pedophile men, racist white men.
That's just saying, oh, looks like you don't know. You're like, what does inshallah mean? You sit there, and what we're going to do with this is, Sneako, is we're going to take what you said, we're going to show the Quran, we're going to show the Hadith, we're going to show the Imam,
Absolutely.
top one
Show the Quran
on
and Hadith. Go ahead.
International Islamic
Yes.
TV,
Read the Quran.
say
Read the Quran.
you convert, you pay the tax, or we cut your head off.
Okay. Sure. There's two things here. So you're afraid of an Islamic takeover of America, right? And you're saying the thing I said, F you. Do you know that I was banned from Australia? The game that I was at, you said this was an Allahu Akbar rally. This was a World Cup game. Egypt was playing Australia.
But nobody wants to talk about the violence in the Old Testament. The violence in the Old Testament, well, you got to understand that in those times, all right, I could explain it to you. In those times, the people there, all right, they had standards, they had rules, okay, and they had to go and punish the outsiders there, okay, who were doing all types of things that like child sacrifice, having sex with animals, and that was basically the judgment that reading the Bible, according to the Bible, that the people that God had chosen for that land, they were to exterminate them. Okay, and also bad things happened to those people of God as well, because they chose to pick up those customs, and they were also punished. They were enslaved as punishment. Okay, but there's a Reformation period. That's the thing which you have to understand with the Bible. There's the Old Testament, okay, and then there's the New Testament, which was the Reformation period. Okay, for example, in the Old Testament, you could get a divorce. New Testament, you can get the divorce, but you can't remarry another person while your first spouse lives. Okay, the Old Testament is eye for an eye, hate your enemy. New Testament, love your enemy, forgive those who hurt you. Reformation period. You don't have that in Islam. Islam was, pretend non-believers are your friends, curse them in your heart. Modern times, it's the same thing. Culture jihad in that time, culture jihad now. That's the difference.
Egypt beat Australia. I'm happy. Australia banned me. Do you want to know why, Alex? Similar things that happened to you. Attacks. Australia banned me. They said I was too anti-Semitic and I was too critical of Israel. They listed a bunch of reasons in an email saying that I criticize and that I'm anti-Semitic, and they revoked my visa. So
it's amazing how you could be critical of that country, but when someone's critical of your religion, now you want to play a hissy fit. Oh, you don't know about Islam. You don't know. But you could read it for yourself and understand what's being said. Okay. Let's check out what Nick Fuentes has to say. Let's see what he has to say about that. All right, this is sometimes about Alex Jones. He just wants to be a clown. That's it.
Your cousin is so much fun. The slavery that we take the women as sex slaves, and
inshallah, you become Abdul Alex Jones.
Assalamu alaikum. Marry your cousin. It's so much fun.
You really have.
It's so good. It's so good because
cannot.
like I said, you see Alex starts yelling. Sneako tries to match him. Sneako starts going, Takbir.
The slavery that we take the women as sex slaves, and
inshallah, you become Abdul Alex Jones.
Assalamu alaikum. Marry your cousin. It's so much fun.
In the Old Testament, women can be stoned to death. If Christianity was so perfect, they wouldn't need it to be revision. All the religions are programming cults for the weak-minded. Okay, what you have to understand is that in those times, right, the woman was stoned to death, and the man she slept with against her husband, the man she cheated on her husband with was also stoned to death. That's why she was stoned to death. Okay? That's why. Okay? So basically, it was a new way of doing things. All right? That's why. So when you come with that, try to say the whole verse. All right? Say the whole verse next time.
You really have.
It's so good. It's so good because
Cannot.
like I said, you see Alex starts yelling, Sneako tries to match him. Sneako starts going, "Tuck beer." Alex just keeps going higher. Just keeps going. And then Sneako's just like, what the?
This reminds me of the times Alex said, "They make the frogs gay." Remember when he went that way? So it makes the frogs gay. Weirdo. Total weirdo.
Fuck. Get me down, huh?
Look.
You can't stop me. I'm coming out.
Then tell me. I'm coming. Durka Durka Muhammad.
It's like Sneako tries to match him. He's gritting his teeth. He starts
The slavery that we take the women as sex slaves and
Inshallah.
and then Sneako's like, okay, let's
Inshallah, you become Abdul Alex Jones.
It was pretty much fair back then, man. It's pretty much fair. You can't complain that, oh, it was just the women getting stoned to death. Men was getting stoned to death too. Okay, in those times it was very strict. Okay, compared to now. I don't know what really you want to complain about. Okay, that's basically it. There was a Reformation period. That's it. You're not living under those times. All right. That's the thing. So you can say like the women, and the man she cheated on her husband with, were stoned to death. If a man cheated on his wife, he would be stoned to death, and the woman he cheated on his wife with. That's it. Today, you can't do that. All right? You just separate and go your separate ways. Yeah, I looked into it. It's very inappropriate. I just laughed because Alex Jones was just making a clown out of himself. I don't know what to tell you. I mean,
and Alex is fully losing his Sneako's just like Sneako's just he's like, wait, what? Dude.
total weirdo, man. A total weirdo. And that's what he is. Okay, so let's look into more. This is why people have a problem with what Nico said.
Oh no! This is the Islamic Republic of New Yorkistan.
Wayne Schultz. Oh, Alex is a nut job, man. Racist scumbag and a nut job.
This is the Islamic Republic of New Yorkistan. Islam will be in every household. Inshallah, the whole world is Muslim. Welcome to Mamdani's New York. You see this city? You see how it looks? Inshallah, your city looks just like this too.
This is a good lesson to know that the left and the right will lie to you. Okay? I repeat, this is a good lesson to know because you got to know that the left and the right will lie to you. Okay? Both sides will lie and say they're not about this, they're not about that. But then when they get a foothold, they are about this, they are about that. Okay? Republicans, all right? Oh, we're not racist, you know. Oh, we're not about Project 2025. Trump gets into office. Yeah, we're about Project 2025. Yeah. That's what we're about. Okay. Unions being rolled back. Women losing their right to, losing their reproductive rights. Okay. Well, what about abortion's not a female reproductive right, Excuse me. Okay, this is where education is needed. Okay, for everyone, including myself. There was a situation of a woman by the name of Kat Kamek. I've said this more than once about this story. She's MAGA, all right, MAGA Republican. Okay, she suffered an ectopic pregnancy. Okay, she tried to call Ron DeSantis to get help with this. Okay, it was a life-threatening pregnancy, by the way. Did Ron DeSantis help? No. Did Kat Cormack think about, well, I'm going to follow Trump's policies and I'm just going to tough this out, and if I go, then I'm just going to kick the bucket? No, she pulled some strings and got that ectopic pregnancy, and now she's still alive and breathing today. Okay. Now let's talk about, you see what happened there? All right. They say they're for family, but they don't respect women's rights, especially when it comes to such complicated things as the female human body. All right. See how they lied? And they weren't about racism, but then they want to kick out all the black engineers. Okay, at an event for black engineers in the military. All right. Now we're going to look at the Democrats now. Okay, we're going to look at the Democrats. When it comes to family and, talking about the literature that they want to put into classrooms, okay, they say they're not about that, and they're not about grooming kids. But then you have drag queen story time. And you have to ask yourself the question: what does a drag queen have to? What business does a drag queen have reading books to children? Last time I checked, drag queen with common sense, that belongs to the sex industry. What is a sex worker doing reading children's books to kids? Okay. And then they have Pride Month. And let me just say, you want to have your Pride Month? Fine. But respect the children. You're having Pride Month and you're in the buff, you're in your birthday suit, you're buck naked, and you're parading yourself around in front of children. But you're supposed to be for protecting children. But when this comes up, it's an issue. Okay? Now let's talk about illegal immigration, right? When an illegal immigrant takes the life of an American citizen, all of a sudden the Democrats are like, we can't blame all the illegal immigrants. We're not blaming all the illegal immigrants. We're blaming the ones that commit murders and harm American citizens. For some reason, Democrats can't wrap their head around that. Okay. Republicans, when it comes to illegal immigration, right? They will say, yeah, we got to get the illegals out of here. Yeah. Not thinking that you need illegals to work these farms. That's the thing. Okay. You need illegals to work the construction jobs. A bulk of the construction industry is illegal immigrants. Farming, illegal immigrants. All right? And personally, I think the Republicans are doing this because they want to be able to have artificial crops made in labs given to the people to eat, to kill them off. Okay? That's the issue here. Herbert says less than 1% of women get abortions for health issues. By the way, 99% use it as contraception. We're not talking about those women who use it as contraception. You can't force people to do the right thing. It's another thing. What we do have, though, is pregnancies that are complicated. Now what? And now she can't get an abortion when she actually needs it. Now what? A lot of you people who claim to be Christian, you don't really read your Bible. Because if you did, you'd understand free will. You'd understand this is not a Christian nation. Pretty much says it in your Bible. Says about your God. It says, my kingdom is not of this world, for if it was, my servants would fight. And that Christians are pilgrims passing through this world. That doesn't sound like Christian nationalism to me. That sounds like separation of church and state. Because if it really was a theocratic Christian nation, if it really was meant to be a theocratic Christian nation, then Jesus would have never been crucified, and the disciples would have never died horrible deaths as martyrs. Poor, destitute, and sometimes died in exile. One of them died in exile. That just shows me how a lot of you don't know your Bibles. But you just want to find a way to push your religion on others. No better than Islam. You're not Christian, you're a Christian nationalist.
This is the Islamic Republic of New York, Islam will be in every household. Inshallah, the whole world is Muslim. Welcome to Magdani's New York. You see this city? You see how it looks? Inshallah, your city looks just like this too.
Mind you, Zohar Mamdani is just a mayor. He is just a mayor, and this is how they're behaving. When a mayor is in office, imagine if he was a rep or a senator or a governor, somebody with a higher position of power and authority. This is why I tell you guys to go vote, because gone are the days as a Christian where you can comfortably tell yourself that you're not going to involve yourself in politics or speak out about these things, because they will inevitably affect you and your family and your household. This is why I love the book of Esther, because Esther was a queen who, through her advocacy, was able to overturn a policy that was set to annihilate her people. Go read that book again. That position, what she did, was inherently political. God placed her in a pagan nation, a pagan kingdom, strategically so that she would be able to have the influence with the king to be able to advocate for her people. Where you don't take up your space in politics, whether that is through your...
Here's the problem with that, right? What you have to understand is both sides are owned by the elite. Okay? And let's say you vote Republican, right? You vote Republican, you have to vote for Project 2025. Okay? That's the thing. And Republicans want to bring back racist policies against minorities, especially black people. So you may win against Islam, but you gain white supremacy as a replacement. Okay? That's the issue here. You will lose, eventually you will lose your civil rights. Unfortunately, decide that for a minority, you have to do what's in your best interest. And that for a minority, you would have to vote Democrat or just stay out of the election. That's the thing. Because both sides seek oppression of minorities. They condemn Sneako because he flip-flops. That's it. That's about it. But Sneako is representing Islam. The way he acted right there, he represents Islam. Because Islam is about jihad. It's about world domination. To conquer the world for Allah.
You come at me and tell me that Sneako was kidding? No. He's not kidding.
Islam will be in every doorstep. Everybody will know the truth. Everybody can be Muslim. Islamic Republic of New York is here. Welcome to Magdani's New York. You see the city? You see how it looks? all your city looks just like this too.
Maybe radical Islamism didn't promise to literally enter everybody's home by the sword if they must. I hadn't read the 100-year plan, which is like, more than halfway there. Maybe it could have been funny, but it's not. New York, stand my ass. What do you guys think of this crazy stuff?
Pretty accurate. It's pretty accurate. Now, I don't agree with everything that's said in this video. Okay, I don't want Sneako to be harmed.
This is the Islamic Republic of New York, Islam. Islam will be in every household. Inshallah, the whole world is Muslim. Welcome to Mamdani's New York.
So that's Sneako. He's an influencer who's basically bragging that he wants Islam in every household, even though this country has freedom of religion, and we don't go around saying we're putting Christianity in every home. We might encourage it, we don't force it. It really pissed me off, so this probably will make you happy like it did me.
Sneako's not doing bad. Let's go. There you go.
Like I said, I don't agree with Sneako being harmed, even though he put himself in this situation. I would never want to put myself to fight Sean Strickland if I am not, I have not fully trained at least a good 3 years in MMA.
Yeah, Sean Strickland, what is that? Yeah, it's not gonna happen, buddy.
It's really bad. A couple of days ago, Sneako went massively viral for this particular clip where they're outside celebrating a World Cup win, and Sneako starts cheering. And white folks are treating Sneako like he the Antichrist over this clip.
This is the Islamic Republic of New York, Islam. Islam will be in every household. Inshallah, the whole world is Muslim. Welcome to Mamdani's New York. You see this city? You see how it looks? Inshallah, your city looks just like this too.
When white folks got a hold of this clip, oh, they so dramatic. But when they got their hands on this clip, it was bad news for Sneako, bro. They online right now as we speak, acting like Sneako is a radical jihadist, bro. Like Sneako is the greatest threat to national security. They treat this clip like they in imminent danger because of this clip. They treat Sneako like Sneako wants to behead all of them or something, man. And because of this, yo, you got some real powerful white folks like Elon Musk. You got Attorney.
See, the thing is, like, a lot of black people don't understand Islam, and they don't read it. They think of Islam, they think of Louis Farrakhan. They don't think about the teachings of Muhammad. They don't think about, like I said, Dubai, which is an Islamic slave state. They don't look up the history of Dubai. Mind you, Donald Trump got towers in Dubai, just to let you know. The thing is, people, like black people, don't know about it. All right? And black Islam isn't even real Islam. It's a splinter group of Islam, because in Islam, black people are just subhuman. Muhammad looked at black people as they were subhuman. So it's a funny thing that you could say that, that is, let's say, Christianity is the white devil, but you go to a religion like Islam that says black people are the devil. I find that very interesting.
General Secretaries of States, they online calling for Sneako to be punished and reprimanded, bro. Some is even calling for Sneako to be deported, even though Sneako was born here.
Our country is dominated by
Christian. I'm a Christian American nationalist, and white people are demonized by the left, by the Red Green Alliance, by Israel and everybody, and I'm sick of it. White people are sick.
White people are not demonized by mainstream media. Racist white people are demonized. Racist white people. People like Jake Lang. People like Donald Trump, Rush Limbaugh, David Duke. Okay? Those type of racists. Chud the Builder. Those type of racists.
of the world population. Anglo-Saxons are like 2%.
There's no point in
and
this
I am
preaching.
sick of being run over.
Okay.
And everybody that's declared war on us, I'm saying, okay then.
You think I declared
want a
war on you?
And you want to declare
You think
war?
I
I don't care
declared
if you're
war?
Israel. I don't care if you're a Muslim. I don't care if you're a Chicov. I don't care who you are.
Well,
you want to fight?
Okay, so you're
games are over.
you want a war? You want a crusade? Now you're
Don't worry. You're gonna get one, pal.
you're gonna okay. Then well done. You just played into the hands of the private
Right,
system controlling
don't
our
worry.
country.
It ain't gonna
Well
be.
done.
No.
That's what Elon Musk wants you to do.
It's gonna be
Alex.
cultural, so you can sit over there and your daughters, and you can sit over there and
You're
marry
chipping out. You're chipping out.
and you can sit over there and boys.
You're chipping
I
out.
want your out of here.
The predominant demographic in Europe, I told you, is white guys.
Bullshit.
It's not. This is
500,000 girls groomed by the Islamic.
250,000 was the estimated number. You just doubled it, and that's completely
it's
deflated.
500,000 now. They had it in Parliament. And
Yep.
here's the other thing.
500,000 estimated. You can look at the
We
report.
don't care if Starmer protected them. We know the British leadership are a bunch of. I exposed that 30 years ago.
Normal people can recognize the ridiculousness in this hysteria. Like evangelism, spreading the gospel, convert people to your religion has always been a part of freedom of religion in this country. Like Jehovah's Witnesses exist, Mormons exist. They go door to door, literally to households, trying to convert people. So that's never been like a concept that people have looked at and thought, that's too far. You can't do that. No, right? Like that's not a cause for war, right? If that was a cause for war, Jehovah's Witnesses and Mormons would have been ostracized and shut down a long time ago, right? But no, right? The evangelism and spreading your gospel has always been a thing. But when Islam is involved, that's where they draw the line, and that's where war comes into play. And
like I said, many black people don't understand Islam because Islam, like I said, it's in the Quran. Let me tell you a story, okay? When Muhammad was in Mecca, all right, didn't have many followers, so he pretended to be nice to people. And it says in the Quran, you befriend a non-believer, but you curse them in your heart, all right? Now, when Muhammad left Mecca and went to Medina, when he got his slaves, when he got his soldiers, he got his warriors, that's when he started being forceful. That's when he said, you know what, let's get the jizya on. You know what, you convert or we're gonna take your life, and we're going to take your women and children and your daughters, we're going to use them as slaves. A lot of black people, liberal blacks, don't know about Islam. And they look at it as like just a peaceful religion, but have never read it, have never listened to the testimonies of people who have left Islam, you know, male, female, Arab, Indian, you know, Pakistani, whatever. Okay, and they have told you never listen to their testimonies, their experiences growing up in a Muslim household. Okay, very few people do. All right, I have. Okay, black people being on literal auction blocks like they had back in the days of slavery in the South. They have them in the Middle East, and they're selling black people. An Arab woman is holding a black baby in her hand like it's some sort of Christmas ornament, shouting out prices. Like this is what goes on in these slave markets. Selling black people like livestock. And there's no human rights organization to complain to.
And that's obviously for a reason, right? That's obviously for Islamophobia, xenophobia, or just outright racism, right? They just don't like brown and black people. It's simple as that. Now, I've never publicly stated my religion because I feel like as a commentator, it's not really needed, right? Like I don't really need to come here and tell you guys, hey guys, I'm this. And I probably would never tell people what my religion is exactly. People have heard me say in the name of Jesus. People have heard me say inshallah. I don't feel like I need to identify who I am, but I do feel like regardless of what I am, people have the right to exercise, you know, like their religion, right? People have the right to practice whatever they want to practice. That's what makes America great. Like a bunch of these people are not even trying to like rewrite the doctrine. Now they're saying
that's the thing, right? There's no saying Islamophobe, okay? people who are informed about Islam, I guess you could say, yeah, there is kind of a little bit of fear there because you don't want that. What happens in the Sudan, you don't want what happens in the Middle East. You don't want to be sold on an auction block. You don't want some stranger telling your daughter to force her into marriage. You don't want nobody, if you're eating a food that isn't agreeable in Islam, you don't want a Muslim coming up and telling you, I don't think you should eat that food. There's literally a video on that on social media of an Arab Muslim telling a black woman who's eating food, I don't like that food. I'm fasting. You shouldn't eat that. This is what they want to do. Little by little, they will come out and try to control strangers, literal strangers. This is how they act. Those who are truly under Islam. And they will laugh in your face. But once they get control, once they get government control, that is when they start changing. That is when, like, I don't think you should wear that. I think what you're eating is inappropriate for me and my religion. Change what you're eating. They want the right to tell you what to do. And unfortunately, in the black community, does not see it that way. Because most of them have not read it. They have not read the Quran. They have not read the Hadiths.
And well, when the forefathers says freedom of religion, they weren't talking about Islam. They were talking about just different forms of Christianity. Cut it out, bruh. Right? I even heard Charlie Kirk even try to like push that when he was alive. No, it's freedom of religion, right? The forefathers knew it. Again, it was very specific. They knew exactly what they were talking about. And the reason why they were so specific is because their goal was they didn't want any religious wars. They didn't want people in this land being persecuted for being a certain religion or being persecuted for practicing what they chose to practice. Because they witnessed history. They've seen the trend. They've seen how religious wars have destroyed nations. So if you are a true American, then you wouldn't have any problem with somebody practicing what they practice. Nor would you have a problem with them trying to go out and convert as many people as they can. Because Jehovah's Witnesses do it, Mormons do it, Christians do it. It's never been a problem until Muslims want to do it.
Well, that's the problem. I bet you he hasn't really read up on it. Now, here's something that's a little bit of hypocritical when it comes to Sneako. Okay. And this is how Sneako can be a literal clown at times.
Niggas got me to agree with academics. I'm not going to lie. Take a look at this.
If there's one thing I hate within the black culture is the fact that you want to take a racial slur and use it as a term of endearment. That grinds my gears so badly. It's either a racial slur that offends you or it's a term of endearment. Pick a struggle. For me, it's damn sure a racial slur, and I will get extremely angry if someone is ever to call me that.
It's clear.
To a word. Okay, if you say word has no meaning, say fuck out loud right now. Is that what you're saying? No, I'm saying I'm gonna ask you to say because it should have no meaning, right? There's a fucking meaning to it, right? Okay, clearly, but you wouldn't say that, right? Because do you not see the point that you're making? How are you equating God? Words have meaning, brother. How are you equating God, disrespecting God, the Almighty, something that we have faith in, to something that only has meaning if we attribute meaning to it? God has meaning without us. This hard R word, listen, this word only has the meaning that you give to it. Allah exists without us. You just told me you can't disrespect God. Okay, get it, and I agree. But you can disrespect an entire group of people, and your solution to that is that the entire group of people should just not be offended. That works.
Fam, Sneako sounds so stupid that it makes academic.
Exactly. Because the thing is with Islam, they don't, like I just said it before, they don't respect black people. Muhammad didn't respect black people, neither would Arab Muslims. And Sneako is basically doing the same thing. Although it's just a word. No, Sneako, no. I'm sure if someone called you a slur that was for Filipinos, you would take that, you would be very offended. And the fact that academics pulled your ticket and called your bluff that, okay, they're just words, say something bad about Allah. He can't do it because there's a death penalty for that. He knows that. So it's a lie when they say, oh, it's just words, bro. It's just words, bro.
You sound extremely smart, bro. There's gonna be people here like, oh, but how can you equate God to people using the N-word? And people say dumb things like, oh, you should just not pay any attention to the word or don't give the word any power or meaning. Brother man, the word means something.
Let him play this game with Jews. Let him play this game with Jews. You see what will happen. He already got banned from Australia. This is what I like. The stupidity that comes with people who are white passing and white racist. It's just a word. Okay, cool. Talk about Jews. Talk about Asians. Let's see what happens to you. On live stream. Let's see what happens to your monetization. Let's see if you even have a channel afterwards.
The way we change the word in our everyday cultural slang, and then the way the N-word with the hard ER was used in the oppression against black people are two different things. And it has historical context. So how can you get upset when someone says, oh, since words don't have any meaning, say F Allah? That means something to you because you're Muslim. Right? So if somebody said that, that would be disrespecting your people, your culture. So in the same breath, you say, oh, well, you shouldn't get mad if someone calls you the N-word. That word has historical context in our culture. It means something. It is very harmful. This goes back to slavery. So how does that not make sense to you? How doesn't it make sense to you that that word means something and is harmful to our people? And that since we took power back and we're able to use that word.
I just don't like. He had me and then he lost me. He had me, then he lost me. Just like that. Okay, it's a racial slur. It's a racial slur. Don't try to use it as a term of endearment. Don't try to take it nowhere. It's a racial slur. Other than that, hope you guys enjoy the live stream. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. See you on the next one.